Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 227.
227.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. New itineraries on the Disney Cruise Line for Fall 28 include the Bermuda sailings. Those can be booked right now. Check MEI Travel out. Plus, they have information on their website about Walt Disney World, Disneyland, and other specials at the different Disney properties.
Sounds good. Start making some plans.
Yes, it's almost summer.
And also the allears.net weekly newsletter.
Kristen Ford writes this week about shopping for Disney souvenirs, not only at the parks, but at Disney Springs, the outlets, and much more. I love going to the outlet.
Yeah, we know those stores well.
And also, they talk about Pandora, the World of Avatar, which we're talking about today. First impressions and Disney Vacation Club news and much more.
Be sure to check it out in the show notes. Subscribe. It is a free newsletter. So this week we're going to be talking all about Pandora, the World of Avatar. We went to the very first annual pass holder preview.
Right, and we were supposed to be there from 12 to 2. That's originally what it said. There's our Flight of Passage Fast Pass that they handed out, but they actually opened the doors not long after. They told everybody to be there for 11, and then they opened a few minutes after 11. And what they hadn't said is that you could just stay all day, so you could be
9 hours later, we have this show. We have full coverage of everything, and it was very exciting, very, very exciting. Last time we went through here, it was still Camp Mini Mickey, so boy, what a change.
I liked Camp Mini Mickey, though, especially around the holidays.
I liked it, too. Maybe, who knows, maybe around the holidays we'll have something here. This is the Valley of Moara.
Right, that's a sign. It gives you a little bit of information, and, you know, you're supposed to be entering Pandora here, including all the kind of the flora and the fauna of this area.
And this is the Flasca renclinata. I think I'm saying that right. You touch this plant here, and it reacts to your touch. And I imagine at night it'll be glowing, and you know all sorts of steam comes out of it. It was very nice.
I didn't touch it. Like I didn't know what it was. Like I didn't read. They give us a field guide. And I haven't read it yet.
Well, this was, we actually had some rain during our visit
a lot of rain,
to Pandora.
Like of the 9 hours, probably like 4 hours at least of rain.
And we were in the rides. I was in the rides for about 3 hours. So this was at the very end. I did a little walkthrough and the sun finally came out. So I didn't have a lot of time to show it with good weather, but we did the best we could.
Actually, about 4 hours. So probably he had about an hour of walk around time once you included the rides and lunch. So it wasn't too much, but just enough to get all this.
It is beautiful, though. I mean, this stream does remind me of the Camp Mini Mickey stream, although I understand it is completely different. It is not at all the same waterway.
Is it? Because somebody mentioned online, they said, doesn't this remind you of
It reminds you, but I asked
Mickey?
Turns out they completely bulldozed everything, so it is new, all new.
Unlike some construction projects, you couldn't really see anything.
And there are the floating mountains here, and this is called the fluffball tree.
I don't know anything about that.
It's
and it looks like shark's teeth.
Well, apparently it is connected to everything. So at night, this will be one of the first things that glows and sort of spreads the glowing, the bioluminescence all over the land.
Now we're walking into the Navi River Journey. It doesn't say Navi River Journey except in this little tiny sign here. It is for family. So unlike the Flight of Passage, anybody can ride this. And I'm just going to say, I am not an Avatar fan. Jeff likes it more than I fell asleep. We watched the movie again. I fell asleep twice on 2 different nights trying to get through it. So I don't know as much. I tried. I mean, I watched videos and stuff to try to get an idea about the land.
Well, they say you need not know about the land to enjoy it. And there again is the floating mountains. This is actually the queue. We're still in the queue for the Navi River Journey. And there, you could not wait. You really wanted to get on the ride.
No, I just want to get out of the way. But I was just going to say, I think it does help to understand what is going on to be able to try to connect with it, because I didn't feel like a major connection with a lot of this, but I feel like as I go back I'll understand it a little better. So that's how I feel.
Well, right off the bat, I will say I thoroughly enjoyed the Pandora, the World of Avatar land. I can't wait to go back. And, we're just getting started here, though. I don't want to jump ahead. Look at the size of this queue. This is an outdoor queue, though, so I imagine it will be a little warm in the summer, although they do have lots of fans to blow air on you, unlike the queue for the Flight of Passage, which is mostly indoors. Anyway, we're going to go through these caves, and we'll about to get in the boats. These are sort of small little boats. I kind of compare this to a classic dark ride, but instead of a ride vehicle, like a Mr. Toad car, you're actually in a boat. So it's not a boat ride like a Pirates of the Caribbean, a big long boat ride like that, but it's more of a dark ride that you're in a boat. That's just the way I see it.
Well, it's about 4.5 minutes long. It's supposed to fit 8 guests. You're going to be hard-pressed to fit 8 guests in here. We were 2, and then behind us was either 1 or 3, depending on which of the 2 rides we did. 4 would be, 2 adults and 2 little kids probably. So it doesn't put through like a lot of people per hour, especially when you think that sometimes you only have like 3 or 4 guests in a boat.
Well, I mean, it seemed to move pretty fast to me, but I mean, it wasn't maximum
capacity,
crowds in there.
Right? And I mean, they move guests through because it's a small boat. It doesn't take long to fill the boat with guests.
And you can see there's a mix of projections here and the bioluminescence. It is very beautiful. It's very serene. It certainly is something for the whole family, and I think Animal Kingdom needs that. It's definitely a needed thing where everyone can go. It's a very relaxing ride. There's no waterfalls or anything like that. So it really is for anybody that can step in and out of the boat, I should say.
Right, because there's no wheelchair boats, like not with Small World did have that, because didn't I go on Small World?
Yeah,
no, I went on the Mexico boat ride. When you broke
your ankle, right.
So I have done the boats with a wheelchair, but they don't have that. You have to transfer for this, and you have to transfer for Flight of Passage.
I should mention, if you're looking to get a fast pass, this one seems to be a little easier.
It's much easier.
I was able to book 3 or 4 at this point in the future, where the Flight of
Passage,
Flight of Passage, forget about that, is pretty impossible.
So talking about this attraction, what the Navi River Journey is about, Disney says, is you journey deep into a bioluminescent rainforest in search of the Navi Shaman of Songs. I have never heard the word bioluminescent that much in my life until now. So everything it seems to be about the bioluminescence.
I've learned I like bioluminescence, though. It reminds me of the old days in the 70s where you had black light posters and black lights and glowing things. This reminds me of that, and I enjoyed that time. There's some more projections of the Navi procession there.
And they're all heading to the Shaman of Songs.
Correct.
Which I did not understand when I was on the ride. I just kind of looked around. But they're all heading to find her.
Do we know why? They're just wanting to see her? Is there a purpose to why they are heading there?
Well, I don't really totally understand it. There is the Navi Shaman of Songs.
Very impressive animatronic, by the way. Probably the most impressive animatronic I've ever seen in my 40-some year history of going to theme parks.
Well, she's supposed to be almost 10 feet tall, which is very, like I guess the Navi are supposed to be very tall like that. But she's very lifelike, and I guess even with her eyelashes and everything, which you wouldn't really be able to see, but apparently, even just little movements that you're not going to see are really astounding.
Well, I'm going to show another closer pass of her, so if you want to get a real look at how realistic, I mean, it really does kind of blow me away.
So also, if you are going to Disney's Animal Kingdom right now through at least July 4th, they have extended hours until 11 p.m. and then if you're staying on property till like 1 a.m.
And I believe there's an 11 o'clock Rivers of Light show now, too. They've added a third show, and here's another close-up of the Shaman of Songs. I will always remember that name now. I would have never known what a Shaman of Songs was before, but I think it's embedded into my mind.
Right. And, Disney doesn't tend to be a late night, theme park experience. A lot of guests like to get up early and hit the park. So it'll be interesting to see if Animal Kingdom stays open later. If people
it all depends how incredible the bioluminescent, Valley of Moara looks at night. If it's mind blowing, I think you will see. I think people will show up there late in the day and close that park out. It could be a very popular nighttime activity.
Well, let's say you go to the Magic Kingdom, guests are programmed after the fireworks to leave. So it'll be interesting to see when guests are programmed at this point to leave. And I think late at night, you'll be able to get on some of the attractions a little easier anyway.
So also Pandora, the World of Avatar, is set well ahead of time from when the movies took place.
Right. It says that the new land welcomes guests to the lush world of Pandora long after the human conflict with the Navi has ended.
A generation, like 100 years after, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know if I heard that
I think Mr.
part.
Cameron said that in one of the productions we saw.
Yeah, we tried to get a little research in, and I guess it's like kind of a Pandoran plant life and earth plant life, kind of a little bit of a combination of that.
Right, and I guess they are still trying to get the land back into good order, you know, to sort of fix the land from what the human miners did back in the days of the conflict. So that's why you're seeing a lot of that shown throughout the land as you explore it.
That's past my pay grade. No, I don't know. I don't
well, you can, you know, you don't need to know all that. You can just enjoy the beautiful landscaping. I mean, just look how nice this all looks.
It's, you know, it's been a lot of research. It's not like Disney where I know all about Mickey Mouse, you know.
But that's great. That gives you something we can walk around and discover and learn. And it's actually better that we don't know every detail before we get there. Let's talk about Avatar Flight of Passage. Probably one of the best attractions I have ever ridden.
Now, when we went on it, I don't want to say it's the best because I don't know. I've only been on it once. It broke down while we were on it.
Oh, look at no Mickey, by the way. Did you see that?
It's sort of like Mickey, though. There's no Mickey Mouse in the whole land, but that's as close as you're going to get as to it, like a hidden Mickey.
Right down to the merchandise. When you purchase an item, you have a special Pandora bag. There's no reference at all to Disney or Mickey or the characters.
Receipts.
Except for the receipts. The paper receipt still says Disney World.
But this is really beautiful here. But I was going to mention just that the ride had broken down and then... So it kind of changed how I felt about the attraction. I don't want to say change.
Well, we did a fast pass the first time, but it ended up taking an hour and 20 minutes. We actually got loaded, the ride started, and it broke down with you kind of hanging, looking downward.
Don't say hanging, but yeah, you know, kind of looking downward for 10 minutes. So I don't feel like I've totally experienced the attraction, even though we went back on and I was looking around to see what it looked like.
So listen to me, because I actually waited 2 hours to go on this again and have my opinion be unsullied by a breakdown. And I can tell you, after fully immersing myself in the queue and looking at everything and just fully enjoying it, the ride is spectacular. It definitely can be affected if you have all those things go wrong, but when everything goes right, it is tremendous. And we'll get into that later on. Let's take a look at the more of the queue.
So the queue, first we trekked through a massive root structure over a land bridge, and then you had the waterfalls and a totem garden, and now we're in, they call it a cave-like structure. I'm not sure if we're going to be going through the fast pass queue now or the regular queue. No, this is
all the regular queue. The regular queue is one of the longest queues I've ever been in. It takes literally almost 10 minutes to walk it from outside to the entrance
like
to
Indiana
the ride.
Jones.
Very much like Indiana Jones. But there's a lot of Indiana Jones adventure. Yeah, there's a lot of detail to see, and now you're even going to have some more bioluminescence and just listening to the sounds of the various animals. When you're in this area and when there's nobody there, it is absolutely beautiful.
Well, they call this an old, once abandoned RDA facility with a laboratory partially restored, which is what I believe we'll see in just a minute.
Right.
I also want to say 44 inches tall you have to be, and you have to be able to transfer.
We will fully get into that later. Yeah, we'll definitely get into the whole ride vehicle thing coming up very soon. But again, if you get a chance... If you do a fast pass and there's any way that you can go through this actual queue, unless it's like a 5-hour or 10-hour wait,
and it probably, I don't think it'll be 10, but I think we're looking at least 4.
This is a queue you should do if at all possible, and you'll see why. I mean, there's so many great details, and it is air conditioned, by the way, and you know how much we love air conditioned.
Well, I think first thing in the morning, if you can just head there, and if you want to go through the queue, that's the time to do it. Maybe you'll still have, you know, because there's going to be guests with fast passes, so you're could still have an hour or two wait. You know, right. I can't even imagine what the wait's going to be really on this yet. But like that one time it took you 2 hours,
right,
you know, with a fast pass
and
no
that
standby.
Was a breakdown. There was a breakdown though, and that's why it took 2 hours.
But there's been a lot of them. So
it was the very first day though. It was the very first public day.
I think they're still having some problems. So
you don't see this if you do fast pass. You completely miss this laboratory, and there's so many cool things in here to see. You just hate it, like the Avatar here in the liquid. You would completely miss that if you do fast pass.
And this is, you know, this actually was one of my favorite areas of the whole land because I just found it very fascinating. He is an animatronic. He's floating in water or what, you know, I don't know how they are doing this. But there was just something very interesting about it. Plus, there's little details in the queue also that I found interesting.
And this is where I was for over an hour when I was in the queue the second time and the ride broke down. So I had a lot of time to really study, look at this and look at all the little different things that were going on around me. If you have to be stuck somewhere, this is a good place to be stuck. I'll tell you that.
And we had already gone through it, and I probably spent like a half hour in this particular area, not with just with him, but with other aspects of that queue as well. So to me, this was about as interesting, you know, as the land got, as far as, you know, connecting with something for me so far.
Right, right. We have not been at night yet, and that's definitely something we plan to do as soon as we can possibly.
In a you know, barely over a week, we'll be in the land, and it looks beautiful. Like the nighttime looks stunning, so it'll be very interesting to see that for the first time.
So we're still in the lab, and you see a model of a banshee, and here are some books about the Navi here, and again, so many little things to notice. I like that a lot.
Right, like for me, when I go through queues and such, I like to look for little things about, you know, stories, even though I don't know very much about Avatar and all that. For some reason, this type of thing is still a very big interest to me.
Only human food here, apparently.
Well, that's good. We should have some.
That is very good.
So, but anyway, there's, I guess we're still walking through it. And are we going to see those big Navi yet?
Yes, yes. This is the last room. When you get to this room, you're almost to the lineup to go onto the ride itself. So it's sort of like Soarin'. All this is all that stuff until you actually get to the cast member that sends you down the ramp. That's what this is. So as soon as you go through this room, you're going up or down these ramps, and that's when you get onto the ride itself.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, again, like when you go through the queue, you go straight in through the caves and you get here. So you miss all that stuff that we just saw. I can't tell you enough how you really want to do both if at all possible.
Right. The first time we rode, well, the one time I rode, that's all I saw. I didn't see anything that we just saw. You know, we had to go tour it.
So they give you a number, and you have to stand on your number. And here, one of the first things they do is check you. They give you a scan to make sure there are no parasites. And of course, somehow we all had parasites, and you can see us there.
Of course
there's me waving. So they had to get rid of all those parasites.
Well, it says that we are scanned, and genetic material is sampled to connect us to personal avatars in preparation for a flight experience.
Right, right. And here we go. Right now they're matching us with an avatar, and I've been on twice so far, and one time I got a girl avatar and one time a male avatar. So you just never know what you're going to be matched up with. And that's what's going to fly on the Banshee. You are not on the Banshee, but your personal avatar is on the Banshee. If that makes sense.
It doesn't, but
it totally makes sense. It totally makes sense.
I sort of get it, but not. I will
so
never fully get it.
This is now the second. This is volume 2. You go from one queue room to a second queue room, and this is showing the ride vehicles. This is where there's a lot of questions coming in. You're going to put all your stuff back here, and then you're going to sit on the ride vehicle like you'd sit on a motorcycle. So there have been a lot of people apparently that cannot fit on this thing. I am not the smallest person in the world. I fit just fine. Our friend John Panda, who goes by the name Big Fat Panda, if that means anything, he fit. And he was concerned he wasn't going to fit. But then there are people that have a different body shape. I think tall people or people that have long legs that have had issues.
Tall and maybe broad. There might be like calves. I don't even know. But there are guests. Right now there hasn't been a test seat, but it's supposed to be here for opening day. So, you know, I would not like to get to this point and then be told I can't ride. Well, so I'm glad the test seat is coming.
Nobody in our group of 8 was denied
in our pod or whatever. And I didn't see anybody in any of them when we rode who was denied.
So quickly to talk about the ride, they didn't allow any recording of the ride. But if you were to take Soarin' and kind of combine it with Star Tours, that's about what the ride is like. But also there you feel the mist of...
And you smell
right, there's beautiful, good smells, unlike the new smells in the current Soarin' of dirt and everything. You actually, I prefer the smells in this new ride. And you have wind, and then there's bioluminescence, all sorts of things. I found it wonderful. The second time I rode it, I had the biggest smile on my face, and I couldn't get that smile off for about 10 to 15 minutes. So I just think it is one one of the best rides I've ridden. It's right up there with Spider-Man at Islands of Adventure for me.
I did not find, they said about height, or, you know, if you are scared of heights, that maybe it isn't a good ride. I am scared of heights. I don't have a problem with it. It does move. Like some people have said, it's more stationary, but you are moving quite a bit, and you have the 3D action. So, you know, you have to know that you can handle something like that. It helps to know that ahead of
Right,
time.
and if you don't like being confined, you are very confined. There is no way to get out of this thing. So when it did break down and we were sitting there for about 10 minutes, it was a little unnerving knowing that you couldn't scratch or move, or I mean, you are fully in. At least the lower part of your body is fully in there.
I mean, my foot fell asleep. Like stuff like that, you're pinned in a little bit, but it wasn't terrible. It was just like, okay, I want to get out of here.
So of course, after the ride, where do you think it brings you? But a gift shop. This is called Wind Traders.
There you are, in the reflection there.
So we're going to take just a very quick look around. There are wearable items, all sorts of accessories. You have a Navi tail there.
Those will probably be popular.
We did not buy a Navi tail.
I didn't buy anything.
Some kind of glowing wand and all sorts of things. Those little slippers glow, actually.
Oh.
And here are some blacklight items, all kinds of different things. Here, coming up, we're going to see a make-your-own avatar. If you come out of there loving it so much, you can have your own face put on one of these avatar dolls, and then it'll come out in a little dispenser. I think it's something like $80, similar to what they've done in the Star Wars area.
An avatar maker.
Yeah, and here it is, avatar maker. So something we'll have to do. We'll have to get his and her avatars, right? Absolutely
no,
not. Huh?
I'm not. I don't have. There's nothing in here. You know, this is all, which is good.
I bought that shirt. That is a dated opening day shirt.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes,
but
of course.
This is everything in here is Pandora. Like they don't sell any. Oh, there it is. Any Disney, you know, merchandise.
It's all
yes,
Disney.
It's all Disney, but it has no Mickey Mouse.
I bought that too. I bought
Yes.
these ceramic floating mountains. How could you not have a ceramic floating
There
mountain
was
mug?
nothing I
It goes
needed.
nicely with my Trader Sam's mugs. These were the big sellers. I had no interest in
They
this.
were so okay. These are so popular.
They
like
are
the
the
Banshees.
$50. No discount taken, by the way.
And I guess they can go on. You know, they can go on your shoulder.
Like this.
Here, this one is being modeled.
Well, it is very cool, but I'm thinking, what am I going to do with it when I get it home? I don't really have a place to. I'm not going to keep them on my shoulder forever.
I think you bought enough.
I bought enough. I did not need a $50 Banshee, and then you can buy a $15 holder for it. What is that little thing called?
A perch.
Perch, yes, a Banshee perch. Anyway, all kinds of stuff, of course, in the merchandise. And this is pretty cool. This is a remnant from
A mech suit is what they call it. A mech suit.
I am impressed. I'm very impressed.
I research. He reminds me of a transformer, you know.
Very much. Well, it's kind of like that. This goes back to the first Avatar movie, and this is when they were having the conflict back then.
The first Avatar.
There's 4 sequels coming.
I know, but it's going to be a while. Like, we're still looking at maybe like 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
This is one of the coolest things I discovered at the Pongu Pongu. This is sort of a place where you can get...
Like a bar.
Mostly a bar. But if you look, you see these little name tags. So I had a feeling there's probably going to be a hidden something in there. So I zoomed in, and what do you know? A hidden Joe Rohde. No hidden Mickeys, but you can find a hidden Joe Rohde there in Pandora, the World of Avatar.
And I'm guessing these are all the Imagineers and those who worked on the project. I'm sure that's what it is.
I'm sure Mr. Landau is there somewhere.
I'll look next time when we're in there, probably the 27th.
Another highlight is the Satu'li Canteen.
And this food was way better, really better than I expected.
So the ordering process was quite easy. You just go up to the registers here, tell them what you want. Of course, they treat you like you're on another planet because you are on another planet. I have to say the conversion rate here on Pandora is 1-to-1 to U.S. American dollars. So that's very helpful. Here is a quick look at the various food items. I did try both of the beers, and this is the Grog Ale, which was the weaker of the two that I tried.
But you liked it, and you liked that one.
Oh, it was a cold beer.
I was going to say also there's going to be mobile ordering.
Yes.
So that's something that may have even
I think it already started. Correct. And this was the other beer. What was this one called?
The Moara High Country Ale.
Oh, the High Country Ale. Yes, I did prefer this to the Grog Ale. Again, cold beer. How can you go wrong on a hot day in Florida?
And I didn't try any of the any of the beverages here except for like iced tea while we were waiting out the rain. Nothing too exciting.
But we're just kind of checking out the various the look of the inside of the canteen here. And again, it is air conditioning. They have lots of seating inside and outside. Let's take a look at the first item we had.
Well, they have different bowls, and you can kind of choose what you want to go into them. Like here we ordered chicken, and then I think it was, I don't have it in front of me, but some sort of a rice. So, but you don't have to have that. You can have something different. And then chimichurri is what we added as a sauce.
Right, you could have potato or other things like that. But you really like the cheeseburger pod here.
This is what, I didn't think I was going to like this at all. I thought I liked the chicken better, but I didn't. And it's funny because people seem to either like one or the other better, really better. But I like these, and it was an interesting consistency. It wasn't like a regular hamburger. It was like a kind of a chopped up type meat almost.
I liked it too. I would get that again.
I didn't taste cheese, which is good because I don't like cheese.
I think you ordered it just hamburger, no cheese. That's probably why.
I don't remember ordering. Oh, you may have. Yeah. I didn't order. So, and here is like, it's like a blueberry cheesecake. They don't call that. That's not what they call it here, but online Disney does call it that. And I thought this was excellent. And it's funny because there's a chocolate cake also, and people seem to either love or hate one or the other.
Right.
Like,
and I love this
both.
Cheesecake was excellent. Now I want to try the chocolate cake.
No, but that means
after
maybe
hearing people hate it.
No, people either love or hate it, it seems like. And it's like, well, maybe I'll hate the chocolate if I love the cheesecake. So we'll see next time, maybe on the 27th.
So finally, at the very end of the day, after about 8.5 hours, I had some sun. So here are the floating mountains. Just another quick walk around the Valley of Moara.
This was like the first sun of the day, too. It had been gray and rainy really all day until now. And I was so tired, I went and walked around the park. So
because when you're tired, you go walk.
Well, I just needed to move because I had been sitting so much. And it does help, like when you're sleepy and stuff, to kind of get the blood moving. But anyway, at least it looks really nice with the sun right now.
It looks beautiful, and I think this is just going to be absolutely spectacular come nightfall with everything glowing.
Well, in just over a week, we'll see it.
And I think we're going to take a look at the ground, the details of the ground. Can you imagine when this stuff is all lit up? I think this whole street area. We've seen pictures of the ground, and it looks great.
But there's going to be a lot more than they've showed already, and that won't happen, I guess, till the 27th.
That's right, and I guess they have announced some other entertainment in the land, something to do with a drum, some kind of drum lighting ceremony.
Right, they're supposed to have that, I guess, in the evenings, but I think they're going to have shows kind of all day, and I don't know anything about it more than that. And also there's like a mobile app activity as well.
And here are the drums. I did try them out. They're quite nice. It sort of reminded me of when you go to the little Africa area of Epcot and everybody's playing the drums. So it's very similar here. But it's a perfect location to have a ceremony because right behind it are the floating mountains.
I hadn't even noticed the drums like the whole time I was there. So it's funny to me that I didn't even, if I saw them, I wouldn't have even known what they were.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that all turns out. Let's give some final thoughts. First, what did you think of Pandora, the World of Avatar?
It's nice. I feel like I haven't been there for very long, and you can see like we didn't even see that sunlight till I didn't see it within the area. So we'll see. I mean, I need a few more times in to really, I think, have an opinion, a big opinion.
Right. I can tell you, I think I've given my opinion. I quite liked it. I can't wait to get back. That's always a good thing. And I especially can't wait to get back at nighttime. So anyway, that's our look at the Pandora. Now we're going to move on to Disneyland Paris. Our good friend Axel was there for a special Pirates of the Caribbean event.
With the celebrities, too. So they had this big day at Disneyland Paris, including, they did Pirates in the Land, but then they brought out the celebrities. And this is for the Infinity Annual Pass. He got a special seating for this. So he was really nice to give us some coverage of this. I'm just very excited about it.
So here he is. Here is Axel, Curious Axel on YouTube to talk all about it.
Hi, everybody. So today, the Pirates event is happening here right behind me. And I think it's going to be about 5 hours before the show starts here. But first of all, we're going to take a look at Adventureland because a lot of things are happening over there. Follow me.
Aquí, attends, César. Coucou.
I would like to interpret that question in response in a form of dance. I choreographed that.
Il a répondu à la question en dansant. Thank you. Orlando.
I lived here for a little while. Well, not in Disneyland. I lived in this country for a while.
Huh? We got the right movie.
Well, we love your work.
Who's that?
We love him.
Oh, he like sounds so cool.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. We pillage, we plunder, we rifle and loot. Drink up, me hearties, yo ho. We kidnap and ravage and don't give a hoot. Drink up, me hearties, yo ho. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
So this was a little coverage of what we saw today here at Disneyland Paris for the premiere of the new Pirates movie. I hope you liked it. And we're going back to Jeff and Anise. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks to Axel. That was a wonderful segment. I love seeing Disneyland Paris also. But check out his YouTube channel, Curious Axel. He also took these photos, probably while he was videotaping. So just like we did that one time with the Tony Baxter, and we'll show that at some point too.
I am very impressed. The photos are spectacular. I have to tell Axel, I think his photos are better than the official press photos that were put out that day.
He did a great job.
Very good job anyway. That would have been a lot of fun. It's so worth it to have that Infinity Pass to be able to do cool events. And we'll be seeing the pirate movie next week, I guess.
Probably soon anyway, but thank you so much to Axel for this awesome segment. I'm thrilled that he did it for us.
So that is another show. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks to our sponsors, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
Definitely check them out for not only Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland Paris, Walt Disney World, Disneyland, all your travel needs.
And the allears.net weekly newsletter. We have full information on how to subscribe in the show notes.
So this coming week, we're actually going to be the weekend in Miami, just over a quick overnight for a carnival event. And we have a lot coming up.
Well, we have Happily Ever After coming up. This week
right.
we had so much Avatar or Pandora that we didn't get to talk about Happily Ever After. So we'll have full coverage and our thoughts on that brand new fireworks spectacular, which really is spectacular.
Yes. So, I mean, we almost have what we need already. So I Happily Ever After is such an awesome show. So I'm looking forward to talking about that as well.
So everybody, thanks for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.